Hello, welcome in to Mind of McConnell, Week 15, Fantasy Playoffs Round 1, Start, Sit, Sunday. If that name isn't long enough, right? But we got a lot to celebrate today, so we have to have a long name. There's a lot to get to. Playoffs Round 1 for the vast majority of us this week. So last night didn't really get started off the way that we would have hoped. Obviously, Ramondre Stevenson was one of my favorite plays of the week at running back. But it really wasn't his fault that it didn't work out. It was more so the game script. Mac Jones threw the ball 44 times. Like, that's not something that any of us thought was going to happen. So I think if you played RMS like I did in a lot of my leagues, I don't think it was a bad decision. It's just one of those unfortunate things that happened to just not work out. But it is Fantasy Playoffs Round 1, otherwise known as James Robinson Week, ladies and gentlemen. James Robinson is going to own the day today. It is all about James Robinson, so fire James Robinson up. There are only 4 running backs this week that I would be starting over James Robinson. And that is Jonathan Taylor, who obviously that worked out. He's my RB1 for the Round 1 of the Fantasy Playoffs. Dalvin Cook, RB2. Austin Eckler, who already played, he would have been my RB3. And Najee Harris at RB4. I think James Robinson is a top 5-6 running back today, or this week. So I think James Robinson, let him take you to Round 2 of the Fantasy Playoffs and beyond, because he's got a great rest of the season schedule. Okay, but enough of that. Let's get to the questions. First up in Round 1 of the Fantasy Playoffs, we got Jeremy Lewis, Russell Wilson or Joe Burrow. Russell Wilson or Joe Burrow. I'm going to be honest with you. Typically, the rest of the season, it would be Joe Burrow. But I think I'm going to lean a little higher this week on Russell Wilson. Joe Burrow, first of all, I think Burrow has an okay game. I think they're actually closer than maybe kind of what I'm making it out to be. I like both this week, actually. Burrow doesn't seem on paper to have the greatest matchup. But again, it is a must-win. If the Bengals don't win this game today against Denver, they're not making the playoffs. So they have got to get this offense on track. I think Burrow has a pretty good day. But I just think if I had to go, the Vegas rule, if I had to go to Vegas and bet on one of these players to have the best week to win money, I'm gonna lay my money this week on Russell Wilson. I love Joe Burrow this week, but I'm gonna lay it on Russell Wilson because I think he has the better matchup. All in all. Let's see. Is it safe to flex DJ Moore today? No, it is not. No, it is not. Not against the Bills defense. Not with Cam Newton at quarterback. And if Cam Newton gets benched or gets hurt, it's PJ Walker. You can't trust any of that. So no, it's not safe. Other options are Bateman, Pollard, Rashad Penny, Dallas Goedert, and Rondale Moore. I'm going to put them in order. I would absolutely be benching DJ Moore, but this is how I'm putting it in order. Rashad Penny is number 1. Dallas Goedert's number 2. Tony Pollard's number 3. And then I'm going to go Bateman and Rondale Moore following that up. So that's how I put all these guys in order here. But Rashad Penny today, I think, is the guy that I want. They have made it clear in Seattle that Rashad Penny deserves more work. And deserves a chance to be the lead running back. So that tells me they're going to give him a lot of carries. They're going to give him a lot of snaps. That's what I want. But if you're not sold on Rashad Penny, I totally understand it. I would go with Dallas Goedert or Tony Pollard. Those guys are very close. Now we got to remember, Tony Pollard is going to play. They said a couple dozen snaps. So they said maybe 20 snaps. That doesn't mean 20 touches. That means 20 snaps. So he may not even touch the ball 15 times. He may not even touch the ball 10 times. So keep that in mind. So I think if you've got Zeke and Pollard this week, I think you're starting Zeke over Pollard. Next week, that's probably a different discussion, but I think this week, now that we know that Pollard is not going to be playing a full allotment of snaps, I think, you got to account for that. So it's Penny and Pollard and Goddard, I think, in that order to me. Those are the 3. But I think Penny would be my number 1 choice. Is Zach Ertz or Dallas Goedert? I will go Dallas Goedert again. Jalen Hurts is back. And it doesn't really matter whether Jalen Hurts starts or not. If Gardner Minshew starts, obviously we saw what he did with Dallas Goedert before, right? So I think Dallas Goedert's in a good space regardless of who is under center at quarterback. But give me Dallas Goedert over Zach Ertz. Higgins or Gibson? I will go with Antonio Gibson. Give me Antonio Gibson. I don't know what the latest news is on J.D. Mckissick. I haven't seen anything come through, so I don't know. I can kind of check this in real time. But if J.D. Mckissick is in fact out, okay, he did not practice yesterday. J.D. Mckissick did not practice yesterday because of a neck injury. However, he's also, he cleared the concussion protocol, but he's dealing with that neck injury now. So to me, it doesn't sound like he's going to be playing today. And even if he was active, he's not going to be playing a lot of snaps at all. So Antonio Gibson, to me, is high up on my list. He's my RB8 this week at running back. So I'm all in on Antonio Gibson. He's been playing very well. Obviously, if J.D. Mckissick is limited or doesn't play, Antonio Gibson now has a high fantasy floor because he's going to be the primary pass catcher. So it's Antonio Gibson for me all day long over T. Higgins. KJ Osborne or Darrell Henderson at my flex. It's going to be Darrell Henderson's going to play. The question is, with Sony Michel playing so well lately, how many snaps does Darrell Henderson play? How active is he? How much work does he get? Or is he just sort of eased back in to that role? It's all going to depend on Adam Thielen. If Adam Thielen plays, which it kind of looks like he's going to right now, I believe, you're going to go Darrell Henderson. You're not going to feel great about it, but you're going to go Darrell Henderson because he's going to touch the football more. If Adam Thielen sits, then there is no discussion here. You're going to play KJ Osborne. So it's up to Adam Thielen. So watch the Adam Thielen injury report there. Travis Bruce, good morning, everyone. Good morning. Happy playoffs to you as well. 1 point PPR, Fournette or Mixon. I created a list and I posted it in FSA and I posted it in the Roto Bros Fantasy Lounge, which you can see scrolling across the bottom. You can join that. Highly recommend, by the way. Rest of the season is free. And I created a rankings list of my top 38 running backs for this week of who I would start in order. And Leonard Fournette is my RB6 this week. He's a rock solid top 10 running back for me. So Leonard Fournette, let him ride him to the playoffs and to the championship because Leonard Fournette has just been money all season long for the most part. So Leonard Fournette is my RB6 this week. So it is, and I like Mixon. But I have Mixon ranked at RB12 behind Barkley and Cordero Patterson, right ahead of Alvin Kamara just a little bit. So yeah, I'm gonna go Fournette over Joe Mixon. I need one for flex, down by a ton, so I need one with the highest ceiling. Russell Gage, A.J. Green, Marquise Brown, Amon St. Brown, or Terry McLaurin. I can't recommend Terry. If Taylor Heineke was playing and Terry McLaurin was at full health, I would say Terry McLaurin. Just put your best player out there and try to entrust him as much as you can. It's not going to be Amon St. Brown. Doesn't have much of a ceiling. It's not going to be Terry McLaurin because of the quarterback situation. Not really at full health. So it comes down to Brown, Green, and Gage. Can you really trust Russell Gage? He's had one ceiling game all year. I can't trust him there. And then so it's AJ Green and Marquise Brown. If Rashad Bateman wasn't playing, I would go with Marquise Brown. You may have to go with AJ Green here. I think he gives you a safer ceiling. I think he gives you higher odds to reach a ceiling, and he also gives you a higher floor. And we don't even know if Lamar Jackson's going to play. Lamar Jackson's probably not going to play. It's not looking likely. So by process of elimination here, it's A.J. Green. Don't feel great about it, but I think it's A.J. Green. Josh Comer, Justin Fields, or Derek Carr. I'm going to go Derek Carr just by a little bit. I don't really like either of these guys this week, Josh. I don't like either of these guys this week. So you need to keep expectations in check. It's not going to surprise me if Fields outscores Carr, vice versa. I'm going to go Derek Carr just because he's been more reliable this year. But I'm not excited about it whatsoever. PPR, pick one, Mooney, Peoples-Jones, or Julio in a must-win. Well, I apologize in advance that those are your options in a must-win game. You can't rely on any of these guys right now. You can't rely on Julio. You can't rely on Mooney. Baker's not playing. So, you can't trust DPJ, so it comes down to Mooney and Julio. I'm going to take the ceiling play here, and I'm going to go with Darnell Mooney. But again, keep expectations low because the odds of Darnell Mooney having that 75-yard touchdown catch and having over 100 yards receiving, it's not super high. So, but I think that is the play this week. Aaron Lasicek, my good buddy in Orlando. Aaron Lasicek, James Robinson or Michael Carter. So on that list I posted in FSA in the Roto Bros Fantasy Lounge, I have James Robinson as my RB5 this week. He is going up against. Let me just give you guys. If you missed the beginning of the show, I am dubbing this James Robinson week. Okay, and let me explain why. James Robinson is Urban Meyer's gone. He wasn't using James Robinson appropriately. Urban Meyer's gone. Darrell Bevell, who loves to run the football, is taking over. Obviously, primary play caller and head coach. He came out 3 or 4 days ago and said, look, James Robinson's our starting running back. We are going to treat him as such. That tells me he is going to get an insane allotment of snaps and touches. In addition to that, Carlos Hyde is probably out today, so he's not going to be playing. In addition to that, they play Houston at home. They are at home against the Texans. The Texans against opposing running backs give up 154 yards on the ground to running backs. That is 29th in the league. They are 28th in touchdowns given up to running backs in the league, and they are 26th in fantasy points given up to running backs in the league. This tells you James Robinson is in for a great day. The odds of James Robinson hitting today and smashing are very high. So James Robinson by far over Michael Carter. I have Michael Carter ranked as my RB22 this week. First game back. Ty Johnson is out, so Michael Carter is going to be that do-it-all workhorse that he was prior to getting injured. But he doesn't have a great matchup. Miami's defense, they're going to be throwing the football, I think, the Jets are, so I think that's going to help the floor for Michael Carter. But he's in no way, shape, or form even an option, not even close to an option over James Robinson. So, Aaron, it is James Robinson emphatically over Michael Carter. Let's see. Dylan, Devontae Parker, or Van Jefferson in flex PPR. That's a good question. I think Parker is a little more attractive with Jalen Waddle out this week. Van Jefferson's a little less attractive with OBJ active this week. I'm going to go A.J. Dillon. I'll go with the running back here. I'll go with a guy who's probably going to touch the football more than Devontae Parker and touch the football more with Van Jefferson. That's kind of my tiebreaker here. Not only that, but A.J. Dillon has been pretty good for the Packers, and he plays for a team that scores a lot, and they're going to see a lot of red zone opportunities, and he is turned into their red zone guy now. So I think A.J. Dillon's a safe play there. Take the guy who's going to touch the football more. Jeffrey Wilson Jr. or Rashad Penny in standard. That's a good question. I think it's pretty close for me. I have Jeffrey Wilson as RB29 this week. I have Rashad Penny as RB30. So it's the epitome of a coin flip to me. Rashad Penny has a terrible matchup. Jeffrey Wilson has a much better matchup against Atlanta. So I'm going to go Jeffrey Wilson just by a hair. But temper expectations for both. But I will go Jeffrey Wilson because Elijah Mitchell's out. He plays Atlanta, so that is a good matchup for him. So give me Jeffrey Wilson over Rashad Penny. Michael Carter, Chuba Hubbard, or Devontae Freeman, or Sony Michel. It's definitely not going to be Devontae Freeman. It's not going to be Chuba Hubbard. So it's between Michael Carter and Sony Michel. I have Michael Carter's RB22, and I have Sony Michel / Darrell Henderson as RB23. Darrell Henderson's going to come back this week. That means less touches for Sony Michel. I think a higher floor is there for Michael Carter, so give me Michael Carter over Sony Michel this week. So Michael Carter is going to be your option there. Jeff Atlas, I got Zeke and Montgomery starting with Connor on the flex. I don't trust Connor with Edmonds back. Should I? Do I replace Connor with Judy, Westbrook-Ikhine, DPJ, Gabe Davis, or Albert Wilson? The answer to the latter is absolutely the hell not. And so yes, you are going to trust Connor. Now, you got to remember, I am being a little more conservative with James Conner this week. He is my RB15. Everybody's talking about, oh, that's a little low. Chase Edmonds is coming back. He's going to eat into the pass catching work, which obviously can lower the floor for James Conner. James Conner is coming back with an injury. We don't know how many snaps he's going to take. I'm just saying, I think he's a good play. He's a top 15 play for me this week. And I have him ranked right ahead of Zeke and right ahead of David Montgomery. But you have to be careful because, again, we can't just ignore the fact that Chase is back and that he's coming and that James Conner is dealing with an injury. So you're going to trust Conner over all these guys by a long shot, Jeff. But yeah, keep all that in mind with James Conner. He may not be top flight RB1 James Conner that we've seen in recent weeks. Should I play Tony Pollard or Jalen Richard? Start or sit Braxton Berrios. You're going to sit Braxton Berrios. You're going to sit Jalen Richard. You can't trust any of those guys over Pollard. Look, Pollard may play a couple dozen snaps. That's what reports are saying. I get that. It's a risk, but you're going to take the vastly superior talent in Tony Pollard on limited snaps. It's not a great situation to be in, but you can't say it out loud. I'm going to bench Tony Pollard for Jalen Richard. Doesn't sound good, does it? Probably not a good idea. Go with Tony Pollard there. Pat Freiermuth or Mike Gesicki? I had this question on Thursday. It's a good question. Jalen Waddle's out. That makes it better for Mike Gesicki. However, it's the animal, Pat Freiermuth. I'm going with Pat Freiermuth. Tight end 1 in fantasy. Rest of the way. I've been saying it for the last 3 or 4 weeks now. Ben trusts him. He's one of his favorite targets. He's a safety blanket. It's a coin flip. They're both great. They're both tight end 1 plays this week in fantasy. Trust your gut on it. But if it was me, I'm going to go with Pat Freiermuth. PPR, Hollywood Brown or Terry McLaurin. I will go with Terry McLaurin this week. I don't think either are great plays, but Marquise Brown probably isn't going to have. Rashad Bateman's healthy. He's not going to have Lamar Jackson. So I'm going to go with a higher floor play with Terry McLaurin, even with some quarterback issues that Washington is having. Start 2, Darrell Henderson, Jeff Wilson, Tony Pollard, or Michael Carter. I'm going to go Michael Carter, and I will go with Jeff Wilson. Michael Carter and Jeff Wilson, only because, again, we don't know how many snaps Darrell Henderson's going to get. So it's very close between those two, but you're definitely going to go Michael Carter here over as your number 1 option there. But flip a coin between Darrell and Jeff, but I will lean Jeff Wilson by just a little bit. Peter Parker says Huntley or Russell Gage PPR. I assume this is super flex, so we're talking about Tyler Huntley here, who looks like he'll be the starting quarterback for the Ravens. So yeah, I'm going to go quarterback here. I'm going to go quarterback. Give me Tyler Huntley in the super flex there. David Martinez, Tua, Zach Wilson, or Big Ben. I'm going to go Big Ben over Tua. They're both good plays this week, I think, but I will take Big Ben over Tua Tagovailoa. I think both have good games, though. I don't think you can go wrong. It's not going to be Wilson, but I don't think you can go wrong with Tua Tagovailoa or Big Ben. Standard, Gabriel Davis or Amon-Ra St. Brown. I'll go Amon-Ra St. Brown just because he's probably going to get more targets, I guess. But I'm not trusting either one of these guys. I'm not expecting anything from either one of these guys. Anthony Burbank, non-PPR, Miles Sanders, AJ Green, or Deontay Foreman. So I have, it's not going to be AJ Green. It's going to be between Deontay Foreman and Miles Sanders. I have Deontay Foreman as my RB26. I have Miles Sanders as my RB28. So I'm going to lean Deontay Foreman here a little bit for the Titans over Miles Sanders. I don't hate both of them. I think they were both, decent RB2 plays or borderline RB2 plays. But if pushed, I will go with Deontay Foreman here. Stafford, Big Ben, or Jimmy G. Stafford, Big Ben, or Jimmy G. Oh man, this one's tough. Tougher than it should be, but I'm gonna lean Stafford. I'm gonna trust Matthew Stafford here. I just don't think you can bench Stafford for Jimmy Garoppolo or Big Ben. I'll put them in order for you though. I will say Stafford, Big Ben, Jimmy G. All three are good quarterback plays, but Stafford's been your top flight QB1 all year. You can't bench him. Michael Clark, are any players in COVID protocols and games moved to Tuesday worth waiting it out or just benching them? Darrell Henderson's really the only one I think that a lot of people are concerned about. OBJ is playing, so he's not a concern. He's fine. So yeah, I think really only those two that I can think of. Baker's obviously Probably not going to play. I'm trying to think of the Tuesday games right off the top of my head here. But yeah, I don't think... I think you can pretty much, for the most part, feel safe. If you have any specific names, you can give them to me. But I think for the most part, you can kind of feel safe with the reports that we have now on those players. Peter Parker, Lazard, Pollard, or Kmet. I will go with Tony Pollard. I'll just take the much greater talent at that point. Kyle Patterson, with Lamar Jackson out, Stevenson busting for me last night, Tua, Burrow, Fields. I will put them in order here this week. I'm going to go Burrow, Tua, Fields in that order. Burrow, Tua, Fields. Tua has the best matchup, but again, I think that's also good for Myles Gaskin. Burrow, they have to win this game, and if they win this game, it's going to be on the shoulders of Joe Burrow. So if they don't win this game against Denver, they're not making the playoffs, the Bengals. So yeah, I'm gonna go Joe Burrow. I think he steps up today and has a pretty good day. Is Javonte Williams gonna play? Oh yeah, you bet your ass, my boy. Javonte Williams is gonna play. Javonte Williams is gonna play. He'll be fine. Melvin Gordon is playing too, but they're both expected to play, and I think they're gonna be just fine. So I don't think you have to worry about them. Stafford or Cousins? I got this question again in the fantasy lounge this morning. It's gonna be Matthew Stafford for me. You got to trust Matthew Stafford here. Jason Van Hoos, PPR, DJ Moore, Russell Gage, or Chuba Hubbard. I will go with Chuba Hubbard. I'm not excited about it, but I will go with Chuba Hubbard here. Jared David, good morning. Good morning, sir. Pick one in PPR, Jeff Wilson Jr. or KJ Osborne. Worried Thielen will end up playing and KJO will get downgraded. Thoughts? I agree with you. I would probably... I'm not going to roll the dice. This is not where I'm going to roll the dice. If Jeffrey Wilson had a horrible matchup, I would then maybe roll the dice with KJO. Jeffrey Wilson, he plays the Falcons. And even Matt Ryan agrees that you should start Jeffrey Wilson Jr. over KJ Osborne. So I will, even if KJ Osborne plays, it's very close. You might want to go Jeffrey Wilson anyway. But I'll go Jeffrey Wilson over KJO. Hollywood Cooks or DJ Moore. Give me Brandon Cooks. Davis Mills is the starting quarterback now. He's a lot more aggressive than downfield than Tyrod Taylor is. That's a good thing for fantasy. It's a good thing for Nico Collins, and it's a good thing for Brandon Cooks. So Brandon Cooks for me there. Ayuk, Gage, Parker, or Penny in full point PPR. I'm going to go with Brandon Ayuk. Against the Falcons defense, give me Ayuk, Parker, Penny, and Gage in that order. So Ayuk's my choice there. David Concepcion, Craig Reynolds or J.D. McKissick. I will go with Craig Reynolds because I think he's going to touch the football more. And I don't even know if J.D. McKissick is going to be active. Even if he is, I think Craig Reynolds is going to be more involved with DeAndre Swift out. Jeff Wilson or Javonte Williams? Javonte Williams. I'm taking the better football player. Give me Javonte Williams. He's red hot right now. Brandon McLemore, Aaron Jones, or T. Higgins. I know Aaron Jones hasn't been typical Aaron Jones lately. I don't care. Play Aaron Jones. T. Higgins doesn't have a great matchup, number one, and Aaron Jones is probably going to touch the football more, and he's the better football player, and he's on a better offense with a lot of scoring opportunities. Trust your best players there. Go with Aaron Jones this week, Brandon. Don Butler, Gronk, or Pitts. It's funny. I have been faced up until several weeks ago. I have been faced with this exact decision, but it's Gronk, man. I love Kyle Pitts, and I think he's going to be elite tight end one in fantasy for years and years to come. But when Calvin Ridley left, you're throwing a rookie at arguably the hardest position in the NFL to learn. You're throwing a rookie in and asking him to be essentially your wide receiver one. So not only is he a rookie, trying to learn one of the hardest positions in the league to transition to in the NFL, but he's doing all that and supposed to be the wide receiver one for the Falcons. You know what I mean? So it's got to be Gronk, and Gronk's been red hot anyway. I mean, there's really not any reason for a huge explanation here. It's Rob Gronkowski by a pretty big margin there. Let's see here. Aubrey, thank you for watching. Javonte Williams, Melvin Gordon, Devontae Smith, Brandon Cooks, Chase Edmonds. Pick one, and also I need an explanation on why Javonte Williams over Gordon. Well, he's a better football player. He's better than Melvin Gordon. I mean, they're both going to get their touches. They're both good. But you just take the younger, better football player there. So Javonte Williams over all those guys, to me. And ironically enough, Melvin Gordon would be my number 2 option there. So, I'm going to go Javonte Williams, though. And I'm taking the better football player and the guy that they are going to be moving to, moving forward and kind of giving him more touches as the season continues to move along, and maybe even into the playoffs as well. George Chamberlain, what's going on, man? Should I start Freeman today or take a chance and see if Lockett plays Tuesday? I'm going to take the chance on Lockett. I'm not huge on Devonta Freeman anyway, so I'm just going to take the chance on Lockett and roll with it. And I'll deal with tomorrow's problems tomorrow. And if Lockett isn't cleared, then maybe I'll go pick up Dwayne Eskridge or some crap like that. But hopefully you got another backup plan for Tyler Lockett. But to me, I'm just going to go Tyler Lockett. There's a much higher ceiling there. I think he's going to play. Just a much higher ceiling there. Brian Fox, half-point PPR, pick one to start. Mooney, Claypool, DJ Moore, Hollywood Brown. Give me Chase Claypool. I think Chase Claypool's in for a pretty decent day today. So Chase Claypool for me. Lynn and Chris, standard start 2. PPR start 2. Antonio Gibson, Dalvin Cook, or Tony Pollard. Lennon, you know the answer to this. You know the answer to this, Lennon. You know the answer to that. PPR, St. Brown or Sonny Michel, real important. You're going to go Sonny Michel. He's going to touch the football more. Darrell Henderson may not even return back as the starting running back, and he may not even get a full allotment of snaps. So I'm going to go Sonny Michel at least one more week and kind of trust that over Amon-Ra St. Brown. Pick 2 running backs, 1 point PPR, Cordell Patterson, James Robinson, Javonte Williams, Melvin Gordon. Okay, so it's not going to be Melvin Gordon. So it's down to Patterson, Robinson, and Williams. You look at my list here, I have James Robinson as my RB5 this week. I think he goes absolutely bonkers today. So James Robinson, obviously. So now you're looking between Cordell Patterson and Javonte Williams. I have Cordell Patterson as RB11. I have Javonte Williams as RB14. Give me Cordell Patterson and James Robinson this week. Craig Reynolds or Michael Carter. Definitely going to be Michael Carter. Better player. The game script is probably going to be better. They're going to have to throw the ball against Miami. That's a good thing for Michael Carter. Ty Johnson's not playing, so that just means more touches, more snaps for Michael Carter. Michael Carter over Craig Reynolds by a long shot. With newest Tony Pollard info, would you start Zeke over him? Yes, I would. I have Ezekiel Elliott ranked this week as RB16. I have Tony Pollard as RB25. If Tony Pollard was getting a full allotment of his snaps like he was 3-4 weeks ago, then yeah, I'm taking Pollard over Zeke this week. But right now, with the situation, with the reporting going on now, it's going to be Zeke over Tony Pollard. Is James Robinson going to break out of his slump? You bet your ass he is, George Chamberlain. It is James Robinson week. Is there a chance Lockett plays Tuesday? If so, would you play him or McLaurin? I'm going to take Tyler Lockett for sure. He's got the good quarterback. Right now, he's the better player, more reliable player. Give me Tyler Lockett. I'll roll the dice there. Don Butler, A.J. Green, or Christian Kirk. Give me A.J. Green. Russ or Cousins. I will take Kirk Cousins over Russell Wilson. Eric Matthew, why in the hell would you start Pollard over Gibson and Cook? He's talking to Lennon there. Exactly. My thoughts exactly. Lennon knows the answer to that. Let's see. Lisa McCullough. I played Stevenson last night, so now I'm in a hole. Oh, all of us are, right? Need 2 full-point PPR. Amari Cooper, Deebo Samuel, Chase Claypool, Gabriel Davis, Javonte Williams. It's not Claypool. It's not Davis. It's Amari Cooper. You're not benching Deebo Samuel ever, Lisa, ever. He's been too good, and he's got a hell of a matchup today, so he should go crazy today against the Falcons. Deebo is obviously one of them. And I think you got to go with Amari Cooper over Javonte Williams. I don't blame you if you take Javonte Williams. The only reason I'm going to go Cooper over Javonte is because Melvin Gordon is active. If Melvin Gordon was not active, it'd be Javonte by a mile. Javonte would be a top 10 running back for me this week. But yeah, I'm going to go Amari and I'm going to go Deebo Samuel. So take the 2 receivers there. Dak Prescott or Kirk Cousins? That's a good question. That's a good question. If Adam Thielen plays, it's a little bit closer, but I am going to go Dak Prescott this week. Another one, Freiermuth or Gesicki. It's very close. It's a coin flip. Both tight end ones in fantasy this week. I'm going to lean Pat Freiermuth just by a smidgen. How much can we trust James Conner versus the Lions? Other options are Zeke and CPAT. I would trust Cordero Patterson over James Conner. He's coming off of an injury. Chase Edmonds is back in the fold, so we don't know how much work James Conner's going to get. I'm going to trust Cordero Patterson. I would trust James Conner over Zeke, though. Those two are closer. I think it's RB15, RB16 for those two guys. Yeah. So Conner's one spot ahead of Zeke. So for me, Cordero Patterson is the choice between the three there. Devontae Smith, Melvin Gordon, Javonte Williams, Chase Edmonds, and Brandon Cooks. I need the highest ceiling player possible, down by a lot. Well, I think the highest ceiling player possible is going to be Devontae Smith, but it's not just about ceiling. This is one of the things I tried to tell my partner Mark on the podcast over the summer. It's not just about a player's ceiling. It's about the odds that they hit that ceiling, right? Marquise Brown has a great ceiling. What are the odds of his ceiling, of him going, for 132 yards and 2 scores? Not very high, right? So it's about the odds. I don't know if the odds are in Devontae Smith's favor over a guy like Javonte Williams or Melvin Gordon. So to me, I'm going to go Javonte Williams and Melvin Gordon over Cooks, Devontae, and Chase Edmonds. So give me Javonte Williams there, and hope for a high ceiling play. I'm going to take the best player there on the board. Pierre Levesque, are you still good about Gibson over Aaron Jones? Absolutely. J.D. McKissick's either out or he's not going to be very much involved. Antonio Gibson's been money the last several weeks. He has a floor with J.D. McKissick being out. He's got a higher floor because of the pass catching ability. So yeah, Antonio Gibson over Aaron Jones for sure. Freeman or Gaskin? Give me Myles Gaskin. Freiermuth or Njoku? Pat Freiermuth every single week. You don't even need to ask this question ever. It's Pat Freiermuth every single week. Don't even think twice. Hey, McConnell, great as always. Thank you. Pick 2, start in the flex. McLaurin, Barkley, Zeke, Connor. Barkley, Connor, Zeke, McLaurin in that order. Barkley, Connor, Zeke. Barkley, Zeke, and Connor kind of pretty close, but it's going to be Barkley, Connor, Zeke in that order. Lisa McCullough, full point PPR. Everett, Moreau, or Troutman. I'll go with Gerald Everett, but I'm not excited about any of them. Give me Gerald Everett. Don't expect anything out of these tight ends, but I think the odds are in Gerald Everett's favor to outscore those two guys. Jared David, Jeffrey Wilson Jr., KJ Osborne. It comes down really, I think, ultimately to Adam Thielen playing. But Jeffrey Wilson Elijah Mitchell's out. He has a good matchup against Atlanta, so I'll take Jeffrey Wilson over here this week over KJ Osborne this week, and kind of avoid the whole thing of Adam Thielen being active and kind of messing things up. Markeith Gaines, PPR, 40-yard touchdown, 6-point bonus. Choose one. Hubbard, Javonte Williams, Saquon Barkley, and then Ayuk versus the Falcons, or Foreman versus Steelers, Ayuk versus the Falcons. Not going to be Foreman, not going to be Ayuk, not going to be Hubbard. So it's down to Saquon Barkley and Javonte Williams. If you look at my rankings, Markeith, I have Saquon Barkley as RB10, and I have Javonte Williams as RB14. So this week, it's going to be Saquon Barkley for me. Willie, Jeff Wilson, or Barkley. It's going to be Barkley by a long shot for me. Greg Milner, pick 3, 1 for Superflex spot, 1 for flex, and 1 for tight end. So Superflex, we're gonna go Davis Mills for Superflex. We are gonna go for the flex, we're gonna go Gaskin, and for the tight end, we are going to go Mike Gesicki over Dallas Goedert, just by a hair. Both are good tight end plays, though, so trust your gut there. Marquise Brown or Devontae Freeman? I will go with Devontae Freeman. Pick one to start at flex. Running back, Javonte Williams, Michael Carter, or Amari Cooper. I will go with Amari Cooper, Javonte Williams, and Michael Carter in that order. So Amari Cooper is the answer for me there. OBJ or DJ Moore, says Jeremy Highland. Give me Odell Beckham Jr. Willie, Matt Ryan, or Davis Mills. That's a tough one. Davis Mills has the matchup. Davis Mills is more aggressive. Give me Davis Mills over Matt Ryan. Davis Mills over Matt Ryan this week. With Lamar banged up, do I start Taysom Hill or Kirk Cousins? Hey, man, you might have to go Taysom Hill here. This guy's rushing ability or rushing floor is just exponentially high. It's ridiculous. Like he didn't do much in the first 3 quarters of last week's game, and then all of a sudden, boom, he turns it on in the fourth quarter, and he gets those garbage points. I mean, I can't blame you if you go Kirk Cousins, but my God, I'm going to go Taysom Hill here. I'm going to go Taysom Hill. Or Russell Wilson. I'll go Taysom Hill, Kirk Cousins, Russell Wilson in that order. Big Ben or Jimmy G. Give me Big Ben over Jimmy G. I think both are good options, though, but give me Big Ben. Willie says, let's see. Willie says Zach Ertz or Kyle Pitts. I will go with Zach Ertz over no, I'll go Kyle Pitts over Zach Ertz. Kyle Pitts over Zach Ertz. Albert Wilson, Devontae Freeman, MVS or Hollywood Brown. I will go start 2. I will go Devontae Smith, and I will go with Albert Wilson. Albert Wilson and Devontae Smith this week. Taysom Hill or Tua Tagovailoa, that's another good one, but I'm going to go with Taysom Hill. Much higher floor here, and I think because it's a good matchup with the Jets, I think that's also a good thing for Myles Gaskin. So give me Taysom Hill there. Triple Cross, one of our YouTube viewers, Amon-Ra St. Brown or Marquise Brown. Don't really like either one of them. I will go with Amon-Ra St. Brown since Lamar Jackson's out. Javonte Williams or Brandon Ayuk. I'll go with Javonte Williams, but both are good plays. Marquise Brown, Michael Carter, Brandon Ayuk, or OBJ. Give me OBJ, Michael Carter, Brandon Ayuk in that order. Jonathan, Cam Newton or Darrell Henderson. Man, I don't know. I guess I got to go quarterback here. If Darrell Henderson was getting a full allotment of snaps, I'd go Darrell. Give me Cam Newton. Not excited about it. With Lamar banged up, do I start Taysom Hill or Kirk Cousins? It is Taysom Hill. I think that's just a repeat question. 1 point PPR, pick one to start. Darnell Mooney, Devontae Parker, or Amon-Ra St. Brown. Give me Devontae Parker with Jalen Waddle out this week. Jason Pinedos, Russell Gage or MVS. Give me Russell Gage. I think you got a higher floor play there. Superflex pick 2, Burrow, Jimmy G, or Big Ben. I'm going to go Burrow, and I'm going to go Big Ben, but you can't really go wrong with either any 2 of the 3. I like them all. Let's see. Albert Wilson, Devontae Smith, Hollywood Brown, MVS, KJ Osborne start 2. KJ Osborne is going to be one of those 2 if Adam Thielen sits. If Adam plays, you're going to go Devontae Smith either way. But if Adam Thielen plays, you're still going to go KJ Osborne. I'll take KJ Osborne over all those guys regardless of Adam Thielen. Manil Trivedi says Mike Evans or Michael Carter. Manil, you know this answer. You are not benching Mike Evans. It is Mike Evans for sure. Oh, okay, it's for your friend. It's Mike Evans. I mean, come on. Tom Brady's his quarterback. He's the wide receiver 1. Come on. Your friend should know better than that. Let's see. Schultz or Kyle Pitts. That one's close. I'm going to go Kyle Pitts just by a little bit, but I don't blame anybody for going Dalton Schultz. Self-Tanksley says, we're starting J-Rob this week, right? Oh, you are starting J-Rob over nearly every running back on your team. It is James Robinson week, baby. Jamar Chase or Hunter Renfrow. I will go with, I think Hunter Renfrow's got, I'll put it this way. Jamar Chase is the better football player. I'm going to lean him, but I do think that Hunter Renfrow has the higher floor. Hunter Renfrow with the higher floor. Mike Davis or Craig Reynolds. It's going to be Craig Reynolds for me over Mike Davis. Taysom Hill or Kirk Cousins. Taysom Hill for me. Chuba Hubbard or Edmonds. Give me Chase Edmonds over Chuba Hubbard. Lou Blins. Dak or Taysom Hill this week. Need the W. I will go with Dak, but it is very, very close. But give me Dak with all those weapons. Eric Blanchard, Tua or Lamar Jackson. And then Lamar Jackson or Justin Fields. I think Lamar is out, I believe. Lamar is out. Obviously, if Lamar plays, you're not going to bench him at all. If he's out, it's obviously going to be Tua and Fields. Albert Wilson or Rashad Bateman. I think that depends on Lamar Jackson as well. If Lamar plays, I'll go Rashad Bateman. If Lamar sits, I will go with Albert Wilson. Hubbard or Edmonds. Give me Chase Edmonds over Chuba Hubbard. James Conner or James Robinson today. It is James Robinson over James Conner. Do not think twice about it. James Robinson. It is James Robinson week. He has it all this week. He does. There's not a single box that he doesn't check this week. James Robinson. Don't think twice about it. Darnell Mooney or Devontae Smith. Devontae Smith for sure. Devontae Smith over Darnell Mooney. Sony Michel or Deontay Foreman. I will go with Sony Michel, but I think it is a little bit of closer of a decision than a lot of people would like to admit. Go ahead and give me Sony Michel. Guys, it looks like that's all the questions for today. If I missed any, tag me. I'll try to get to them before kickoff. But again, I got to set my lineups as well, so that's what I got to jump off and do. Best of luck to each and every single one of you, unless you're playing me, in round 1 of the playoffs. You guys enjoy the games this week. I will talk to you guys on Thursday for Week 16, round 2 of the fantasy playoffs. Best of luck this week. Enjoy the games. I am out.